delighted to have Sadhguru on stage. We have been planning for this for about 6 months, and to see him on stage is an exciting thing for all of us here in the organizing team. I had planned a long introduction to Sadhguru, and then I realized he needs no introduction. So I
would have loved to ask a follow-up question, but I think we're out of time. So let's open it up to the audience. So let's do this. Let's take questions in groups of 3, and then Sadhguru can choose how to club them and answer whatever.
I normally answer every question, so just give me one at a time, huh?
Sadhguru, you speak so logically and it makes sense to me. But at the same time, you're celebrating the religious festival of Mahashivratri in a grand way at the Isha Yoga Center. For a young person like me, these religious festivals seem like outdated rituals. So I want to know, what is the relevance of Mahashivratri to the youth? Thank you.
What kind of festival would you like, first of all? Maybe only the Valentine's Day or something? That is also religious, it's Saint Valentine, all right? So what is Mahashivratri? You need to understand this. There are certain… in India, there are 365 festivals in a year. Yes. Today, due to economic reasons and the way we have structured our work and things, a whole lot of them have died, still about 30 to 35 are being actively, maybe more than that, about 50 to 60 festivals are being celebrated by different people, but that number also is decreasing. Largely maybe about 5 or 6 are being celebrated in a big way. So, some of them are social, a few of them may be religious, but hardly any religious ones. Some are all connected to the calendar. Almost every Indian festival is connected to the calendar. What's happening in the solar system, we want to do something which is conducive for what's happening that day in the rest of the solar system. Why this is important is because what you call as my body right now, what is human mechanism, has come out of this planet. Most people don't get it till you bury them. They think they came from somewhere. No, this body is… solar system is working like a potter's wheel to generate this. So everything that happens to the solar system happens to you in some way. So there is a very keen observation of what is happening in the solar system today. Accordingly, we have crafted one kind of celebration and we do those specific things. So on Mahashivratri night, to cut it short, because this is an elaborate subject what you opened up, on that day, which doesn't fall on the same calendar, the regular modern calendar date, this time is on 4th of March. On that day, there is a natural… because planet is not spinning like this, it is spinning a certain way, and there's a precision to the planet. You know what's a precision? Hello? No, not precision in terms of exactness, I'm talking about what is precision in terms of the planet. The planet's axis is not simply rotating like this, it is going like this. It is a wobble, there is a wobble to the planet always. Because of that wobble, it creates a certain kind of situation on the planet. So on that day, especially in the northern hemisphere or only in the northern hemisphere, there is a natural upsurge of energy. There's a natural upsurge of… oh, all this energy I don't believe, you don't. Just go sit on the coast. If there is a full moon night, is the ocean rising? Hello? So on new moon day, full moon day, do you see that, oh, the very ocean is trying to rise? Well, over 2/3 of your body is water, what makes you think water inside the body won't rise? All the fluids in the body are also rising. So you will see these things are there everywhere. If you've ever been in a mental institution, no, you could have gone there and just follow. You will see on full moon days and new moon days, people take extra care because those who are psychologically disturbed become far more disturbed. People think moon causes madness, that's why lunar and loony and all this stuff. Moon does not cause madness, it just pulls everything up. If you're a little crazy, it makes you more crazy. You're a little loving, it makes you more loving. You're a little meditative, it makes you more meditative. Whatever is your quality gets enhanced because it's there's an upsurge in the system. This particular day, after the solstice happens in December, 22nd of December is the winter solstice. After that, the planetary precession is such that there is a natural upsurge on that particular night in a very big way. If on that night, if you lie down, this means when the energies are trying to move like this, you're kind of obstructing it. It is not only that you lose the benefit, you could also harm yourself in a very sensitive way. All these things matter to you only when you want to be a full-fledged human being. When I say a full-fledged human being, you want every faculty that can be opened up in the human being, you want it to be opened. Not if you are that kind, by evening you're drunk and sleeping, what is there also you want to kill it, that's up to you. But if you want to be a full-fledged human being, you want to full scale, everything happening to you, you observe all these small changes that happen in the system and take care of that. So you want to sit straight, you want your spine to be erect on that night. When energies are moving upward, you want to help it further go up, not like this. So we created what is called as jagaran, that means to stay alert and to stay erect. How to keep people erect? Just make them sit. You think they will? If I make you sit for another 5-6 hours, you will simply sit? No, I have to entertain you. Hello. So, that night we have a celebration from evening 6 to morning 6, 12 hours non-stop, music, dance, meditation, various things being done so that everybody stays alert. Nearly 1 million people are in one place, but these numbers were exploding, so now we have large screens in over 130 cities across the country in southern India, so that people gather there and too many don't come here, but still it'll run into somewhere around 700 to 800,000 people in one place. And over 86 channels are telecasting it live. So how many millions of people are watching, we don't know. Last year they said it could be somewhere around 6 crore people could be watching. This time it's going to be much more. This is also the 25th year of Mahashivratri in Isha. 25 years ago, we started Mahashivratri celebrations in that place with just 70 people. So, it's grown that big because people find the benefit of what it is. You do one thing on that night without getting drunk or drugged, just sit alert. You don't like celebration, so you simply sit like this. It's up to you. So, you need to understand this. A human being needs celebration. If celebration has to happen in your life, you need some sense of playfulness, otherwise there's no celebration. Most people can celebrate only if you get them drunk. I will show you 1 million people in one place, not a drop of drink allowed anywhere, but you will see full night, not one person will sleep, everybody's on, okay?
Go ahead.
Please, wait for the microphone, please. Hello, please wait for the microphone.
Could
If everybody
hand
goes off like that.
Could someone hand him a microphone, please?
So, I have a question for you. And
Sorry,
thank you so much.
one moment, ma'am, 1 moment.
Okay.
The gentleman.
Sadhguru, your thoughts, I would say, or I could say your answers about the questions on pregnancy, or whether… your thoughts on like what it means for women to bear children or not bear children and the choice thereof, was a beautiful answer. I could
Please,
relate to everything
just come
that
to
you're
the
saying.
question, time is very…
The context is slightly necessary, I'll keep it short. And your answer about rapes and increasing cases of rapes, or them being sort of a social crime, but also there is an association of pride, etc. That was a question. And both the answers in and of themselves were honest answers, but together…
Hare, this is not a commentary, just come to the question.
But together, is it possible that there was in your two answers perhaps unconscious bias or double standard? Because in the answer to pregnancy, you said oh, it is just your primal instinct, your biological need for an identity to care about a certain person, you should grow beyond it. And in your answer about rape, you said, oh, humans have this
I know what I have said,
hormonal
please.
urge, and we are not…
I know what
there
I
is
have
no
said,
out-
why don't you just ask the question? Huh?
So the question
I
is…
know
is
what
it,
I have said.
is it,
Just come to the question.
is it possible that in these two answers there is perhaps a subconscious bias, or am I reading it wrong? Those two answers to me seem like,
All right.
oh, this is biological, let it go. Oh, this is biological, it won't go.
I think you've made your point, so let's hear
please.
the answer.
Oh. Let's understand this. The hormonal impact on human biology is such, it subjugates one's intellect, subjugates one's knowledge, subjugates social order and acts beyond that. Is that the way to create a society? No. The whole idea of creating a society is that all these things will fall into a more graceful slots so that they will function smoothly to everybody's benefit, not against anybody. That's the whole idea of trying to bring a civilization to a society is just that, that's the effort. Have we ever, in these whatever thousands of years, have we ever succeeded 100% in this effort? Have we? No. At certain times, these things have been well handled, at certain times they've been badly handled. Only thing we can do is, how well can we handle it in our time? That's all there is in our hands. You're thinking of these things as some sort of absolutes. These are not absolutes. Don't think there is a man who is a rapist and there's a man who is no rapist. It's not like that. It's just that when he goes out of control, he will do ugly things. When he's in control, he behaves well. When he's in love, he behaves well. When he is joyful, he behaves well. When he gets frustrated, he behaves horribly. This is the nature of the human being. If you think it needs my endorsement or not, then you're living in some la-la land. This is the nature of the human being. Are we going to create a system where there is going to be minimum friction among people is the continuous challenge for every generation. Yes? It is a continuous challenge for every generation. No generation has ever arrived at one perfect system that it worked absolutely for everybody. Always somebody was exploited. If you don't know the reality of the existence and you're living in some other psychological state of absoluteness, then that's not the point. But pregnancy is a choice. And especially now it's I wouldn't have said it's a choice 100 years ago, because it just happened. Just the hormonal thing happened. But pregnancy is a choice. Even if you're sexually involved, still you don't have to get pregnant, that is possible only for this generation. If you do not understand the impact of that, that is the biggest thing that's happened. For women, that's the biggest thing that's happened. That is, there is birth control, that one can exercise their choice whether I want to go into it or not go into it. So, that is of a different kind, this is of a different kind. That's why I said, if you want to bring both of them in one category, you come to me, I will initiate you into brahmacharya, I'll give you sadhana, you do that, both will be by choice.
Thank you so much for coming here. I just wanted to ask you about how we can contribute back to society and give back, because everyone keeps talking about contributing and contribution, but it's really hard for each person to come up, and just want to hear your thoughts on it.
See, when I talk about giving back something to you, that means I have stolen something from you already. Please don't do that. If you don't do the first act, the second act will not be necessary. As a part of this, we have started this conversation in the business world. It's still picking up momentum, but not enough momentum. I am talking about structuring businesses in such a way that you understand, in any transaction, you're talking about sustainable business. Not only ecologically, the business also has to sustain as a business. If any relationship has to sustain, it must be beneficial for both the parties. Whether it's marketplace or marriage, I want you to understand, you're not, but Whether it's marketplace or marriage, unless it benefits both the people, this transaction is not going to go for long, isn't it? So to build a business in such a way that always it's beneficial for both the parties, if you do, first I don't have to take it and then at the time of retirement I want to give it back. What is this? This is like the old, even the mafia and Robin Hoods who steal from other people also give it to people because otherwise they cannot survive. So first don't take it and then try to give it back. Why? Why can't our life process itself is useful to everything that we do? Why can't businesses be built in such a way that it's naturally beneficial to everybody? And if you make this happen, if you today a lot of impact businesses are coming which are all thinking on these terms. It is still not large enough as it should be, but it's beginning to happen. As a part of this, right now one of the biggest problems we need to address in the world in the next few years is going to be migration. It's estimated nearly 1.5 billion people will migrate in the next 5 to 10 years' time. When 1.5 billion people start moving, not one wall, people will try to build walls everywhere. And wall is a solution only till the tide is of a certain level. When the tide increases, it'll fall over the wall. It will. I'm not just talking about one country, I'm saying everywhere. So what is the solution for this? This problem is just this, right now nearly 80% of the world's investment is probably in approximately 25 to 30 cities on the planet. This needs to spread. If investment has to spread, who will risk spreading their investment to a place which is harder to do business? You have to create a fund which will allow a little more easy money. If you want easy money, you must invest it in impoverished societies. So we are looking at this in a big way, trying to work with the United Nations and the large businesses and to set up a trust where businesses will be given soft loans for long gestation period, 12, 15 years, so that you have time to go there, train the people, create talent and create a business and create livelihood there so that people don't have to go away. What kind of business? Well, businesses can decide what kind depending on the terrain, people, the nature of everything else that is their ecosystem. But if we don't do this now, that if we don't spread the world's investment into various areas, you will see when one segment of population is living with so much comfort and well-being, another segment has nothing, you cannot control it. All these years you controlled it because there was no transportation, you understand? Now everybody has transportation. One way or the other they will come in. One way or the other they will come in. It doesn't matter what kind of barriers you put up, in the next 10 years' time, they will come anyway unless you put investments in various places and create livelihoods. The businesses have to be structured like this. Young people who are studying business, you must think of solving world's problems rather than just thinking of some fanciful ambition. Your ambition, whatever it is, I want you to understand this. You will realize this as you go with your life, but if you realize early, it's better. In terms of activity, whatever activity we perform in the world, how deeply we touch another life is the most profound satisfaction of activity. That's the purpose of activity, really. Do you want to write a book that nobody wants to read? No. Do you want to cook something that nobody wants to eat? Do you want to build a building where nobody wants to live? When you do something, you want it to touch somebody's life. So if this is the thing, the young people who are going into business, you must think on these terms. How to impact maximum number of lives and where can we do it? If we don't create this opportunity and allow migrations to happen, you will see terrible things happening when people migrate. So you must understand this. Right now, between Africa and United States, at Spain, Italy, all these places, every year thousands of people are drowning in the waters. They are not reported. Media will not report that. Nobody wants to report that because they're unwanted people. But some deaths will be reported. Deaths are reported. Is anybody capable of reporting the human suffering of leaving their homeland, dragging their women and children and going somewhere? That suffering, can anybody report ever, I'm asking? Is death the only thing that matters? Human suffering matters, isn't it? Human suffering cannot be reported by news media. Only if deaths happen, they will say 100 people died, 200 people died, but that is not the real thing. Those thousands of people who left their homelands where they have lived forever and coming and desperately looking here and there, losing their wives and children and husbands and searching here and there, this is not a small thing. This is going to scale up in a tremendous way if we don't spread investment, if we don't spread businesses into societies which are stuck in poverty right now.
We are out of time, it's 12:30. So on behalf of everybody, let me thank Sadhguru very much.
Thank you so much.